Hey everyone, in today's video, we're going to dive into the upcoming weather pattern, taking a look at much colder air on the way. I know I've been saying this every single day, but now we're finally transitioning into it. We've already seen some colder temperatures yesterday and today, and it's about to get even colder. Now, the National Weather Service outlooks are definitely aligning with that expectation. We also have several winter storms to track. Just last night, we had one that unfortunately turned out to be a bit of a bust for many areas. Most forecasts predicted much higher snowfall totals, but many locations only ended up with around 2 to 5 inches, whereas expectations were closer to 6 to 10 inches in some spots. It was a significant forecasting miss, and we're hoping that's not the case for the upcoming storms. We'll break down what's in store over the coming weeks. Now, let's take a look at the temperature outlook for February 15th through 19th. The West, although not necessarily warm, is experiencing a warming trend. For quite some time, below normal temperatures have been predicted for this region, but now we're starting to see a shift. Meanwhile, most of the cold air is being directed toward the central and eastern states. The Ohio Valley, Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast are all expected to be below normal. And the Southeast Ridge, which was previously a dominant feature, is hardly being predicted anymore. Looking at the precipitation outlook, it's a very active setup for the eastern half of the nation. We know storm activity will be intense during this time frame, and this forecast certainly aligns with that expectation. Additionally, the Northwest will see continued precipitation, which is great news for ski season in the mountainous regions. Now, moving on to the 8 to 14 day outlook for February 17th through 23rd, we see an even stronger warming trend for the West, possibly signaling the development of a positive PNA pattern. For those unfamiliar, this typically results in warmer conditions in the West while allowing cold air to dive into the central and eastern states. If this outlook holds, we could see an even deeper cold air intrusion, with most of the central and eastern U.S. experiencing below normal temperatures, except for parts of southern Florida. As for precipitation, while the outlook isn't as active as the previous period, near normal conditions are expected for the northern states. There's also the potential for snowfall in parts of the South, not the deep South, but areas that could see wintry weather if a storm system coincides with the cold air mass. Of course, we'll have to wait and see how things unfold. The Northwest, however, remains in a favorable setup for precipitation. Looking at the past 10 days, including the final day of January and the first 9 days of February, we've seen almost the complete opposite of what's expected to come. It's been very warm, particularly in the deeper South, including the Four Corners region, South Central U.S., and the Southeast, where temperatures have been far above normal. Meanwhile, the main cold air pocket has been centered over the Northwest, with New England also seeing near to below normal temperatures. Now let's examine the European weather model. Both major models show plenty of activity, though there are some slight differences between them. We'll break those down. For this afternoon, there's a chance of showers and thunderstorms across the deep South, including New Orleans, where the Super Bowl is being held. Of course, since it's an indoor event, the weather won't impact the game, but if you're in the area, expect some rain. And if you're attending the Super Bowl, you certainly have more money than I do. Elsewhere, snowfall is occurring in the Rockies and Cascades, as well as in the Great Lakes and parts of the Northeast, though nothing too major is happening today, February 9th, Super Bowl Sunday. Looking ahead to Monday, February 10th, we expect to see snow showers across the plains, Rockies, and Cascades, with rain and thunderstorms in the deep South. However, it should still be a relatively quiet day. We're seeing a push of warm and humid air bringing precipitation from the Gulf across much of the deep South and Southeast. This moisture is combining with colder air, leading to snowfall in areas such as northern Oklahoma, southern Kansas, southern Missouri, northeastern Kentucky, southern Ohio, West Virginia, and Virginia. This is just the very beginning of what could become a significant snow system for the mid-Atlantic, so it definitely needs to be tracked closely. By the time we reach overnight hours, we see the rain snow line shifting north. However, northern Virginia, Maryland, Delaware, southern New Jersey, and southern Pennsylvania could be in the hot spot for the highest snowfall totals from this system. Time will tell. Meanwhile, we're also tracking a developing snow system for the plains and Midwest, affecting Nebraska, Kansas, Missouri, and Iowa. At the same time, thunderstorms and showers could be present further south, so keep that in mind. By Wednesday, February 12th, system number 1 moves out while system number 2 moves in. This system will push warm air eastward ahead of a warm front, while a cold front develops behind it, pulling in even colder air. This setup could bring additional snowfall to interior and northern areas, including the Midwest, Great Lakes, and possibly parts of the Ohio Valley and Appalachians. By 1 a.m. on Thursday, February 13th, the low pressure system is centered near Cleveland, Ohio. Snowfall will be widespread across Michigan, northern Indiana, Illinois, including Chicago, and southern and eastern Wisconsin. This appears to be the bullseye for this potential snowstorm. Since this system is less than 5 days away, it falls into the short to medium range forecast window. High temperatures that day will allow the low to move into Canada, bringing a wintry mix to northern New England. However, this is unlikely to be a major snowfall event for the Mid-Atlantic or Northeast. It's more of an interior Midwest and Great Lakes snow event. At the same time, severe weather and thunderstorms may develop in the southeast underneath the low pressure system. Out west, a strong system is pushing inland, bringing snowfall to Oregon, California, and Nevada, with rainfall occurring at lower elevations. Looking ahead to Friday, February 14th, the West Coast remains active with widespread precipitation. Mountain ranges will see abundant snowfall, while lower elevations experience rainfall. Meanwhile, the eastern U.S. remains relatively quiet. However, by Saturday, this quiet period won't last long. The jet stream will quickly push a broad, low-pressure system into the southern plains, leading to snowfall in the Rockies, Plains, Midwest, and Great Lakes, while thunderstorms and showers develop across the southern portion of the system due to Gulf moisture. By Sunday morning at 7 a.m., models have shown a southward trend for this system. With a central pressure around 990 millibars, we could see heavy snowfall across parts of the Ohio Valley, interior Mid-Atlantic, and Northeast. The rain-snow line appears more horizontal, running west to east rather than north to south. South of the low, strong thunderstorms may develop in the southeast, making this another storm to watch closely. As we move into the afternoon, the system shifts offshore, intensifying into a 976 millibar low pressure system. This will bring increased snowfall to West Virginia, Pennsylvania, New York, and New England. If the recent southward trend continues, even more areas could see significant snowfall. For days now, we've been discussing the February 16th to 17th time frame as a potential window for a major snowstorm. While the exact location of the heaviest snowfall remains uncertain, model runs have consistently shown a strong low pressure system in the 970s or even 960s millibar range. Some people may question why we discuss forecasts beyond 4 days when uncertainty increases. I recently received a comment suggesting that long-range forecasting is a waste of time. However, my goal isn't to replicate what local meteorologists or the National Weather Service are doing. I aim to bring a different perspective and provide value in a unique way. Long-range forecasts aren't about pinpointing exact snowfall totals for a specific town. They're about identifying trends, possible shifts, and potential storm developments. While locations may change, the overall pattern remains consistent. Providing this kind of insight helps people prepare for possible winter weather impacts well in advance. Rather than repeating what thousands of others are doing, I prefer to take a different approach, one that highlights key takeaways from medium to long-range forecasts. That's why we've been tracking this system for days. While the location of the heaviest snowfall remains uncertain, one thing is clear: someone is going to see very heavy snow from this storm. This system will also usher in some of the deepest cold we've seen so far this season, making the upcoming weather pattern even more impactful. We've been remarkably accurate in identifying trends 10 to 15 days out, sometimes even longer. While long range forecasts may be 5 to 10 degrees off, they still provide valuable insight. For example, if a model shows temperatures 30 degrees Fahrenheit below normal, even if that forecast weakens by 15 degrees Fahrenheit, it still indicates a period of well below normal temperatures. As we approach the February 16th to 17th timeframe, the Northwest appears to be dealing with a strong system, something we've consistently seen in long-range model runs. While one storm moves along the East Coast, another will be pushing into the Pacific Northwest, meaning two significant systems could impact the U.S. during this period. By Monday, February 17, the East Coast system moves out, leaving behind scattered snow showers. Meanwhile, the Northwest storm shifts south and east, ultimately reorganizing over the southern Midwest. This could set the stage for another widespread snow event, impacting the Plains, Rockies, Midwest, and Ohio Valley by February 19th to 20th. This system could dive as far south as the Smoky Mountains, potentially bringing another round of severe weather to the southeast. The model trends suggest a series of similar storms, with heavy snowfall moving into the mid-Atlantic and Northeast. However, the rain-snow line appears more vertical than typical, making forecasting tricky. As this system moves offshore, it strengthens to 983 millibars and eventually 981 millibars, transitioning more areas into snowfall. The storm exits, bringing another wave of deep cold air, followed by yet another potential system developing around February 23rd. Since this is still in the long-range forecast, a lot can change. The northern and southern energy seem to be out of sync on some model runs, leading to the system weakening before fully forming. However, with plenty of cold air in place, the potential remains for additional winter weather events beyond the 20th. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like this video, hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for my next update. I'll keep you protected before and after the storm.